in. It's good. It's just
Okay.
low connection.
All right. Good morning. Welcome to the Going Executive Director Show. Our purpose is to share with you the vision, skills, techniques, inspiration, motivation, and the daily activities that you need to build your profitable business. Always remember, this is our team's philosophy. You need to do what's best for you and your business. So a dull pencil is better than a sharp mind, so make sure to be taking some notes. And Jeff, I'll let you take it over.
Awesome. Guys, today we're going to talk about getting people started right. So I just completed, Emily's here, what's happening? I just completed basically a form that I'm going to help every single person get started on my team. This is something I did before. It was called an agent profile. It's nothing more than a series of questions. If you've ever heard of FORM, friendly, occupation, recreation, and the message. Darnell Self actually stole my idea. I'm just kidding. He did not steal my idea. He was going over this the other day with people as well. James is with us. What's happening, sir? But this is a series of calls I made when I was getting people started. The very first thing is a welcome call to the team. If I didn't sponsor them directly, I would usually make that call outgoing. Now I'm going to make it a lot sooner. Typically, I would make it within the first week of them getting started. There was a series of, hello, how are you? Just wanted to call. I'm just identifying myself. I'm part of your support team. If you have any questions, I'm here to help. And have you gotten started? Do you know what it takes? What kind of ambition do you have? What are you doing? I'm good. We're good. So what exactly do you say to them? I finally have it all written out. It's called the agent profile. The agent profile is basically, during that welcome call, I said, do you have a couple minutes right now? What I'd actually like to do is just walk through, kind of get to know you a little bit better. When I used to say that to people, I used to say, hey, get to know people a little bit better, ask some questions. Here's what I found. Some people were really good at it, and some people were horrible at it. And it just has to do with what their personality was, what their background was, what their upbringing was. How did their parents, how did their friends greet other people? Some people don't do any introduction at all. It'd be like, oh, hey, this is Bob. Great. I have no idea if they're related to you. I have no idea if this is a friend. I have no idea if this is somebody you picked up off the street. You haven't told me anything. And that's how some people introduce other people, because they've just never been taught how to properly introduce another person. So I wanted to narrow this down, and I started teaching it, and I was like, well, I say this, I say this, I say this. And what I realized is it's really dumb when you're basically saying this is what I say, because people only hear a certain amount of what you're telling them. So what I did is I put it together in a form. The front page is an agent profile. The agent profile literally lays out, word for word, what I asked them. And there's 5 important questions at the end. So after I find out a little bit about who they are, I'm friendly, family, where they came from, who they're connected to, who were they closest to growing up, if they have a big or small family. One of the things I'm doing is I'm pulling together the people they know. They don't know that in the beginning. Now, obviously, everybody here knows that, because now I'm telling you what I'm doing. But the underlying idea is I'm getting to know them. At the same time, I'm pulling together a list of who they know, who respects them, or who they respect, who they connect with. The second thing is I talk about work. Occupation, what did you do? But I go all the way back. I said, well, what was your first job? That's on that list. That's one of the questions. What was your first job? Which job did you like best? Which job did you hate? I'm kind of getting an idea of what their personality is, what their likes and dislikes are. So that way, when we're working together, I've got a good idea already of things I can say and things I can't. Ways to handle things, ways not to handle things. Some people are like, oh, everybody at work was a jerk. They all ignored me. Well, obviously, I want to pay attention to this person. Some people are like, well, they were always in my face, critical, telling me what to do and what not to do. Okay, that would be important to know if you're building a business with them, because if you're correcting them every single time, that would be a mistake. And you just keep going through, and all these different things that questions to ask. Recreation. What do you like doing? What if money wasn't an object? What do you like doing growing up? What's your favorite activity right now? And then finally, motivation of the money. The M is really a couple things. It's these 5 questions. Number 1 question, the first question is what are 3 strengths that you have? What's really funny is when it comes to strengths, people always hem-haw around. It amazes me, but it's true that most of us grow up in a negative environment. And because most of us grow up in a negative environment, what ends up happening is when you ask that question, most people are never thought to think of themselves positively. What are my strengths? What am I good at? There's very few people that come out and be like, boom, 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 these are what they are. Normally people have to really think, well, I guess, I think, sort of, I might be. It's funny how timid they get when they think about strengths. Then I ask these three questions, or the next three questions are, what are three weaknesses, or what are three things you need to work on? Funny enough, people not only have those down, but typically they'll give me more than three. I'm like, we only asked for three. Well, there's 86 things that I'm weak in that I've been told over and over again by every single person I've ever met. It gives me an idea of where their self-esteem is too. The next question down is, where would you like to be in 5 years? Where would you like to be in 5 years? And that really gives me kind of a blueprint of where we're headed. So we got strengths, we got weaknesses, we have, I created the form and I can't even remember all five. Strengths, weaknesses, where do you plan on being in 2 to 5 years? I can't remember the fourth one. And the fifth one, which is kind of the most important, is what is the most important thing to you right now?
Oh, wasn't it what types of jobs did you have in the past, or what was your favorite job? Was that the fourth one? No, that's a different script.
That's in it, but that's in occupation. I'm just trying to remember the last five. So I just pulled it up. It's funny, I wrote this and I can't remember. So what I'm trying to show people is you don't have to be perfect at doing anything. Here it is. It's going to be so obvious, but when you're actually trying to do it off the top of your head. Jacqueline and Michael are here. What's happening? So this is a little bit more serious of a talk. 3 things you need to improve on. What motivates you? I can't believe I can't remember that. What motivates you is actually the third question. The fourth question is, where do you want to be in 2 to 5 years? And the fifth question is, what is the most important thing in your life right now? Now, with that list, I now have what? I now have who their family is, a little bit about them. I now have their occupation, what they've liked doing, what they haven't liked doing. Now I kind of know who they are a little bit. I now have recreation, what they like doing. I now have the motivation of what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what motivates them, where they plan on being, a little bit about their vision, and then what is the most important thing to them in their life right now. This list right here gets to know people quickly, and in some cases, I know people better than their best friend. And what I mean by that is, I found out more information in more categories about who they are as a person than most people. Here's the next part. Christy's with us. What's happening? Now that I have the agent profile down and I know a little bit about who they are, the flip side is what do you need to do to promote? Because everybody's like, well, what do I need to do to make it in this? Amy's here. Hello. What do I need to do to promote right now? Now, the compensation plan and the company that we're in, and this is a little disclosure here, the disclosure is we're actually involved in a company, and this show is about building that company in a secondary income. It's about how we were able to make, and you're not supposed to talk about compensation, but we were able to make a check with a comma in it within the first, was it week or 10 days?
It was within the first 10 days.
Within the first 10 days, it went over $1,000. But we're not supposed to talk about money, so we didn't talk about money here. But what were we doing? We were going through this list, but I had an idea in mind of how to structure and build. And if you look at Legal Shield's compensation plan, it's actually really, really simple compared to a lot of other companies. First of all, if you sell any membership that we have, you don't have to do anything else to qualify for that commission other than sell the membership and upload it in the computer, and it spits out a check to you. Now, you do have to set up a direct deposit if you want it right away, because if not, I think they mail a check once a week. I believe so. I've never chosen to get a check, physical check. Some people like physical checks. Some people just like the money right away. Through Legal Shield, you can actually direct deposit the money into your account. So that over $1,000 in the first 10 days, we already had it in our account. Well, we would have had it in our account even faster, but they screwed up something and they sent it to an old bank. It was weird. But we got it straightened out right away. And we didn't necessarily have to have the money because financially we're doing okay and other things we're doing. So this is extra. This is something we're just putting away. This is something we're just like stacking, which is really going to be fun to be able to show people a printout and be like, I don't know what you're doing with your home-based business, but our home-based business is nothing but a cash cow. We just set it in this one place and then we move it to an investment and it just grows, which is really cool. So this is like seed money to do other things. I'm sending a few documents in Messenger. Okay. Cool. Sean Michael, what's happening, sir? So this was actually a call that had been put together, and I know a lot of people have done this in the past. But when you're getting people started and you're launching people, one of the things that I realized is when I read the compensation plan, they made it simpler than it's ever been. And this is an easy compensation plan to actually understand because basically it revolves around two things. Either you're going to do all the work or you're going to build a team that's going to do a little bit and you're going to teach them how to do a little bit. You're going to do a little bit and then you move up the chart. So you have that balance. And what I can say is in 99.9% of the other companies that I've ever seen, Donald's with us, what's up, sir? What I've seen is it's either all team or no, or you don't make anything. Most companies are like that, but this allows you kind of that balance where is if you're a really, really strong, motivated person that wants to go after it, you can make great, amazing money by yourself. Sean Michael is one of the people that I can tell you has that ability because I've watched him do it, where he goes after it and he sets an example and then the team, basically, I've always found the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack, but the team will do a portion of what you do. And I say a portion because typically you have to be running faster than what your team is. If you want your team to do 1, you better do 2 to 3. But if you read the compensation plan, to get to the very top, you need 3 organizations. So a lot of people look at the minimums. The minimum is 1 recruit and volume equals a promotion. 1 recruit and volume equals a promotion, which is super simple, especially in the first 20 days. So they give you this window of 20 days and they take it from $90 in volume, which is called premium now, but it's $90 in volume. They round up on membership. So like $24.95 is $25. $49.90 is $50. They round up to the nearest dollar, so that way that's kind of cool. It just kind of caps everything off. So it's easy to remember. $9.95 is $10. I know I'm going through each one of these and you said round up. The people who are math people get it. The people who are not math people are like, can you go over that again? I just want to make sure I heard you right because you said round up, and in most things you don't round up. In most companies you don't round up. You could miss stuff by like this much, you round up. So $9.95 plan, an identity theft is 10. $24.95 plan is 25. A $49.90 plan, which is $24.95 is 50. You need 60 total dollars in volume / premium. It's really the same thing. I'm using volume because most people understand that a little bit better than premium. Premium is a fancy insurance word for volume. I don't understand why they said it that way, but I think they're trying to attract more insurance agents and they're trying to look cool, which is fine. That's what it takes. $60. If you miss the 20-day window, it goes to $90. So it's really not that much more. If you were going to break it down, I look at it like this. I basically market 2 packages usually. And when I say by 2 packages, I market a legal shield and a single identity theft if it's a single person, or I market a legal shield and a family identity theft if it's a family. So it's either in round off numbers, when it calculates in the computer, it's either $35 or $50. Well, what I did is I calculated all the people that I had recruited and Brandy and I had worked with, and I added it up basically so far, and I rounded off, and it's basically $42 in volume, or $42 in premium is basically what 1 recruit equals currently in everything we're doing. So in knowing that, I just rounded it down to 40 because I would rather run through the tape than to the tape. That's actually a athletic reference. If you're in track, if you're in long distance, what happens is in swimming, you don't, well, obviously you wouldn't run to the tape in swimming, but you'd swim through the tape. It means don't just go to the end and stop short. You actually run past And what happens is you run across the finish line faster. So instead of, in my mind, instead of 60, I'm trying to help them get 100. Instead of 90, I'm trying to help them get over 100 to think through. But if you kind of broke that down, if somebody bought a $50 plan, a family plan, and I signed somebody up for a family, and we were also able to, let's say the state of Wisconsin, which is actually accurate, that has a license in it. I don't have a license in Wisconsin just because there's 10 states or 11 states, I can't remember, 10 or 11 states that have a license that you can't sell a legal plan in because the stupid insurance industry somehow got their hands on a list of, oh my gosh, there's all these people here, and they tried to extract money from all of the agents. That's what's really happening. I probably shouldn't say it that way. But they're trying to extract money from everybody and get a check. Some states, it's just fill out a paperwork and pay them money. Some states, you got to do a fingerprint and pay them money. Wisconsin, you fingerprint, send it in, pay the money, and you can get a license. I'm not there. I have a friend there, but I was only able to sign him up for an identity theft, which was $9.95, which totals $10. So if I signed up a family plan for $50 and an identity theft in another state for $9.95, which ends up being $10, that's $60 in premium. That would promote somebody. You can add this up any way you want to. The objective is get to 60. Somebody's like, well, what happens if I sell a $35 plan to an individual and I sell another $35 plan to individual? I was like, well, that's 70. Would that qualify me? Yes, if you have a recruit. Because it takes one recruit and $60 in volume. If you miss the 20-day window when somebody gets started right away, and they do calculate it from the minute they're in the computer, by the way, no, we can't call and fix it for you because you didn't know. It sits in the computer if you don't log in and know this, and here's the thing. How long does it take to get this done? It takes about an hour if you really focused on it to get this done. Because if you show 3 people, the likelihood of 3 people, a couple people needing this is really good. Okay, maybe 2 hours because it's going to take you time to fill out the paperwork too. So 2 hours to really get it done if you're focused. If you're working with somebody who knows what they're doing. If you're just going to wing this and you're going to try it your way and you're going to be too sexy and you're going to wait till the 19th day and then you're going to try to rush it in and then you're going to complain about everything, it might take you longer. But somebody's like, well, what happens if I sell a $35 plan and a $35 plan and a $35 plan because I missed the window? And I'm like, well, 35 and 35 is 70 and another 35 is 95. So you would be over 90. You would be over 60, so you would qualify in both of those places if you have one recruit. But here's the way that I was taught. To get to the top of the chart, you need 3 organizations. 3 legs. If you want the team to push you over the top, meaning the team volume to push you over the top, you're going to do the work, you're going to help build, you're going to basically talk with everybody, you're going to structure this. But you need 3 teams. 3 people. So in my mind, I'm not really looking at one recruit and $60 in volume. I'm not looking at one recruit and $90 in volume. My goal is to help you recruit 3 people as soon, as fast as possible. Now, I was taught this by people years ago in another company, and I just brought it with me when I did it. Brandy and I sat down and we had this conversation. I was like, okay, let's draw this out. 1, 2, 3. Let's fill in these 3. And that's basically what the agent profile that I built says. Build these 3. That's what Legal Shields Get Starting Right shows is here's the 3. So we're going to have you get 3 people right away. How do we do that? That's the question. How do you do this? Well, I've always done this with a very simple launch, which is number 1, the agent profile. I find out who people are and I connect with them. Number 2, I go through the getting started right. Here's kind of what it takes to get started. Number 3, we build a list. Now, a lot of people have been told in the past, build this gigantic list. This list as big as you can get it. That's fine. But what I've found is people, when they first get in, are kind of at the height of excitement, but they're also at the height of fear. And I said, look, I just want to help you present to 10 people. I want to get this in front of 10 people as fast as possible. Here's what I know. If I get in front of 10 people, if you help me get in front of 10 people when I'm launching somebody, the likelihood of me signing somebody up is really great. And here's why. Sales is a transfer of what? Sales is a transfer of emotion. Because I've already made money, Brandy and I have already made money at this, we have the emotional, like if it was on a scale of 1 to 10, we're like 12. I'm convinced that I can help you do this, and I know it'll transfer. So if you let me do the talking, if you open the door to somebody we can talk to, and you let us do the physical talking in the presentation using a tool, using a flip book, I know that we're going to help you sign up a membership. I know that we're going to help you recruit somebody. I know that'll happen. Rarely to never am I able to go through 10 people and not either sell a membership or recruit somebody. If we can do that, here's what happens. If we can get through 10, what happens is the moment we sell a membership or the moment we recruit somebody with a membership, the new person's excitement goes through the roof. The new person's belief goes through the roof. Why? Because most people, and a lot of people don't know this, most people don't feel that this will work for them. Most people have been in other things that are more of a fun and or luxury type item. And what I mean by luxury type item is there's some companies out there that sell things that are luxury based. If you have extra money, there's skincare. If you have extra money, there's home care. If you have extra money, there's essential oils. If you have extra money, there's certain things you can take that'll just make you feel better, make you look better. And they're luxury based, and people are like, you know what? I might want to buy that for myself once, but in reality, I'm thinking I'm not going to get a lot of people to spend $80, $100, $300 a month on stuff like that. It's just unlikely. And their feeling is not that it's not true, not that it would never work, but they just don't feel that this would work on a regular basis. So what I like about this is the moment you start talking about, and I hate to say it this way, but it's just true. The moment you start talking about, have you ever known anybody that's gotten divorced? I mean, that's a great question to ask if you're marketing this. Have you ever known anybody that's gotten divorced? Yeah, that's a legal situation. Have you ever known anybody to get a speeding ticket? Yeah, that's a legal situation. Have you ever known anybody to get in financial trouble, maybe even had to file bankruptcy? And most people know somebody. They're like, yeah, I do. Have you ever known anybody who's ever had identity theft? Yeah. So because they're saying yes to all these things, one of the questions in people's mind is would people use this? When you say, here's 4 things, guys, I could probably list 100 things that you would say yes to. I know somebody who's had that issue. All of those situations would be something that this membership would help out with. That's where people get it. Now, I know that. Brandy knows that. When we're explaining that, we can transfer that idea. But when you're new and you've never done this, does it still work? Yeah, you can send them a tool, but it's always more powerful. A person's always more powerful than a video. Always. Always. Not sometimes, all the time. The problem is most of the time, you don't have somebody that will sit there and work for you in the beginning. I'm going to help you do the first 10 presentations. Every single person that I sponsor, I will help you do those first 10 presentations. The question is will you let us help you? Because some people just won't help you. They won't let you in front. Now, what do you do once you go through 10? Once you go through 10 and we get somebody, now we can sit back down. Now we can build a much bigger list. Why? People's belief is much higher. People's excitement is much higher. Now, it's so easy to market a ticket to the next event and say, guys, you got to come to the next event. I mean, you guys already have one. You guys already got paid. My goal is basically to find a recruit. Now, how do you find these 3 people? Jim found one right away because basically there's family members, right? If you have to build 3 organizations, like here's the thing, I'm not going to build 10 organizations to find 3. I'm going to build 3 organizations. The first 3 people are going to get the team that I place underneath them. That's how I build. Now, you don't have to build that way. That's team philosophy. That's not company philosophy. That's just what we do. I put 3 people in and I drill those legs straight down. Now, initially, if you look at our comp plan, the first level that you get in is associate. The next level is senior associate. That's a stair step higher. The next level is manager. My goal is to build managers, honestly, in the company. How do I do that? I help people get 3. Now, if somebody gets 1 and they don't do anything, I get another one and I place them underneath them. If that person doesn't do anything, I place another one under that. If that person doesn't do anything, I place another one under that. If that person doesn't do anything, I place another one under that. Let's say I go 5 down. Within 5 down, I will find one person that will say, look, Jeff, I want to do this. How do I do it? I said, I'll help you do it. Let's go through this agent profile. Let's make a list of 10. I'll present. You do the introduction. And I give them how to introduce. I said, hey, here's the introduction. Do me a favor. I would like to share with you what a friend of mine and I are working on. So if you run into the right person, you can refer them to us. You know what everybody said to that? Sure, no problem. People are like, Jeff, what about the objections? I don't get any. I literally don't get any. I don't get any with current networkers. I don't get any with family. I don't get any. I don't get any. People just don't, like, they can't get this through their head. Because of the words that I picked out, I don't get objections. Well, I don't have the time. I don't get that. I don't have the money. I don't get that. Is this network marketing? I don't get that.
The only thing that you're going to get is I don't get off of work until this time and then talk to me later, but it's always yes, but at this time when I'm free.
Right.
That's the only thing that comes up.
Which means if you can take people from not knowing to knowing. Now, here's the reason I do it backwards from what corporate teaches. Here's the reason. Corporate teaches send them a tool first and then get them on the phone. Mm-hmm. If you send them a tool and they don't know what it is and they don't have any idea why they're watching it, well, do it for me. That's horseshit. That won't work. I'm sorry. Most people you don't have influence with, especially if you're a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10 and your friend's a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10, you do not have influence over this person, usually. They're like, oh yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it. And they're going to get distracted by Facebook, and they're going to get distracted by this and that and the other thing. Then you're going to try to, watch this. So then you're going to chase them down to try to get them to watch it. After you try to chase them down to get them to watch it, here's the second part. Then you have to chase another person down to get that person on the phone to follow. Like, I don't know about you, but chasing people down for a living is a horrible business method. Like, real estate doesn't do that. Insurance doesn't do that. Financial services does. You want to know why you're not getting sharp people on your team building really fast? It's because your process sucks. Sorry. It's just terrible. But, you know, people are like, well, you just need to drip on people. Okay, so now you're using Chinese water torture as your technique to build your business. I'm like, realtor would never do that. A mortgage person would never do that. A financial services person would never do that. A real estate person would never do that. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Well, because corporate says it's easy. I understand why corporate's saying it. I understand the compliance issue. You want people to say the same. But teach people how to do a presentation. This is what I did years ago in another company. This is what I did years ago in this company. This is what I did meanwhile. And here's the thing. I've always ended up with the top presenters on my team when I taught this. Now, certain people, their self-esteem is so low that they don't feel comfortable even saying anything. Fine, for that person, send them a video. I don't care. I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. It's your business. You're able to do what you want to do. If you want to succeed, here's what I've found works. And here's the thing. The biggest company in the world, why do I know this works? Because the largest company in the world, this is what they teach. Now, if you don't know what the largest company in the world is, and you don't know the company that has the most millionaires in it, and you don't know the company that has the greatest success around the world, then you need to get out a book and start studying and understand the industry you're in and quit putting blinders on to what's going on out in the world and understand what the industry is doing and understand what's working. Simon Sinek just said, quit sending emails, quit sending text message, and pick up the damn phone. Talk to people, have a real conversation. There's so few people that are having authentic conversations, real relationship building, that it's so rare. When you do it, you stand out. You stand out so fast. So I'm going to help them do the first 10 presentations. What happens after that? We sit back down, we build a bigger list, and I'm like, now, if I help you get 1, we're this close. In some cases, out of the first 10, I get 2 or 3. If we're really good, I get 3. And they're done. They've already hit. If I keep this going and I build down. So the first level is 1 recruit and either 60 in volume or 90 in volume. The next level is 3 recruits across, and 400 in volume. Watch this. If I build straight down and I get down far enough and I help a couple people get a couple people and another couple people get a couple people and another couple get a couple people, then that leg will eventually start doing 400 in volume and then 500 in volume and then 600 in volume and then 700 in volume and thousands in volume, which means everybody in that line is 2 recruits away. Well, what about the third? If I've already built through you, that recruit that I placed underneath you I didn't even know this until just recently. That recruit that I placed underneath you qualifies you as the 1 recruit you need. Now you just need volume to get to the first level. Now, if you get 2 recruits, this is crazy. If you were to get 2 recruits, 1 on the right and 1 on the left, and we built down the middle, and it's already doing 400 in volume, guys, there's going to be a day when I come on here and be like, yeah, we just broke 40 managers. And people will be like, did he just say 40? Yes, I said 40, not 4, 40. Why? Because if I have 3 legs that are 100 levels deep, and we just keep adding people at the bottom, as we add people at the bottom, that volume flows all the way up through that leg. And remember, this is cumulative total to the top of the chart, director. Cumulative total. Now, you might not understand a word that I just said, especially if you're not in our company. You have no idea what I just said. But what if I could put you in a position where you're one of those first 10, those first 20 people, and we're drilling these legs 100 levels deep? Can you imagine those first 20 people, what the volume's going to be like a year from now? It's going to be ridiculous. I mean, the volume we're already producing is kind of ridiculous, but if we could drill these teams 100 levels deep each, and that's what I'm thinking through. I'm thinking long-term, I'm thinking retirement. I'm trying to help people get a secondary income that comes in regardless, that overtakes their first income. So that way they can take their secondary income, build their third income. I'll explain this in another video. Build their third income so their third income actually out equals their job. So that way they can leave their job, they can have their third income and their Legal Shield business or any other business that they want. And now they have still 2 incomes. The idea is we're going to build 3 incomes initially. 1 income that's active that you have to show up to every day. 1 income that's Legal Shield, that's scalable and buildable. And the third income I'm going to talk about and help you build is what Doug would like to talk about with you as well, is a third income. It's called a passive income. Completely passive income. It's basically where you it's where you invest money that kicks back off. Now, I'm not a financial planner. I can't talk in detail about that. In fact, I'm going to leave that up to the experts to do. But I have friends that can teach people how to do that have a background in it, that we've researched, that have a high ROI, where you can start stacking money over there, and eventually the money in the third category will overtake your job. And when it does, you're really done. I mean, you're done for good. You've built a financial wall, like Jim Rohn said. What if you could build a financial wall around yourself that's so big and so strong, nothing can get through? You're done. You've protected your family. You're in a financial situation where nothing can get at you. That's of what we're trying to teach people to build, not a $300 income. Now, it's fine if you want a $300 income. We're going to find some people that just want $300 a month. That's cool. But what I'm doing is I'm helping people build this kind of triangle, a real pyramid with a high income at the top. We're going to teach you how to make as much money as possible at your job, at your career, whatever. Do as good as you can, so that way we can build a scalable business and have influence. And then the third category is high ROI. That's what we're going to teach people how to do. And we're 1 minute over, but that's what we're helping people do. So with that, we're going to jump off this. We're going to go to the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. We're going to go over one of the 21 laws of leadership. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you get this. We're going to help you recruit 3 people by sitting down, doing an agent profile, and showing you what to do by doing it. So thank you so much for being on. Appreciate it.